All my students say the same thing. I want to be consistent. I want to have a consistent golf swing. Now, consistency can come from many things. It can be course strategy, can be psychology, your mental strength on the golf course, it could be short game, it can be many things. But when we talk about the golf swing and we want to be consistent in our movement, it boils down to two simple things at the very beginning that we must get right, which allows us to build a consistent swing on top. All right, so the first is the grip and the second is your setup and posture. If we get them two things right, we can then build something very repetitive on top. It's like a house. If I've got the foundations, I can build the house. Okay, if I haven't got the foundations, the house is not going to last very long. So in this video today, I'm going to show you how to grip the club correctly and how to create great posture. Right, so let's start with the grip. It's important that we grip the club correctly. Now, many of you have probably got a strange grip and you manage to compensate that with your swing and it works. So if you've got a strange grip but it's working for you, leave it, don't touch it. You don't need to worry about this video. But anyone who really wants to feel they need to improve their grip, okay, then I would suggest watching this video to the very end. What do we want from our two hands? Our two hands have to become one big hand, one unit. They have to work together. And what are they doing? They're simply trying to stabilize the club face. The most important element, the most important thing in the golf swing is what this thing does, the club head, right? We want to strike it out the middle of the club face, the golf ball, and we want the club face to be square at impact. So to do this, we need to grip the club in a good way that we have control, but we also have stability, and that the two hands work as one unit. So we're going to start with a left hand. This is for right-handed golfers. It's the opposite if you're left-handed. I want to hold the club diagonally, all right? It's going to go through the base of the index finger down here in the middle, let's say, and it's going to go underneath this meat of the hand. I call it this fat of the hand here. I want it to go under that pad, okay? So when I hold the club, I get it diagonally, right? I hook that index finger underneath. The pad is on top. I can actually hold the club in balance, right? Then I'm going to close. It's going to feel quite a lot in the fingers, right? But now I feel I have the club diagonally through the fingers. The important thing I've done here is I've maintained a square club face. So it's no good me doing that correctly and having a club face here or here. So start with the right hand, holding it like so, get it in a straight line, in a vertical line. Even this way will be fine. And then you just get that club diagonally through the fingers. I'll show you once again from here. Meat of the hand on top, through the index finger. I can actually hold the club in balance like so. Then I close it. Right. I also have my thumb and forefinger, they're touching. And the direction of that thumb and forefinger, the line it's created, points somewhere towards my right shoulder. I can see 2.5 knuckles on my left hand. If I have a slightly stronger grip, which is fine, I can now see 3 knuckles. There's many good players, your Dustin Johnsons have this and they have 3 knuckles. It's very rare that I see a player with a weak grip where they only see 1 knuckle or 1.5 knuckles. You know, maybe DeChambeau has a weaker grip, but you know, it's very rare. Neutral grip to strong grip. So I'd say 2.5 to 3 knuckles and the V pointing to the right shoulder. Right hand, you can use interlock, 10 finger or overlap. So there's the interlock, there's the 10 finger or there's the overlap, okay? You use whatever you want, it's not a problem. I use the interlock. And what am I doing? I'll start from here, I'm just gripping it in the middle 2 fingers, right in the middle, okay? Maybe at the base of the fingers. I'm gonna slide that right up to my hand, okay? I've slid it all the way up. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna interlock now. I'm not gonna try and get the hands really interlocked. They just interlock slightly. And this thumb will fit in to this part of my right hand, this pad, okay? You can see I've created like a little valley there where my thumb will slot in. So let me get the club, right. So I slide up, I interlock, the thumb slots in, the thumb goes over the top, just on the left side of the grip. I hold this finger, just this index finger, just a little down the shaft as if I've got a trigger finger for a gun, just slightly off. And I've created a V shape. This V shape is pointing pretty much to my head. It can point a little to the right, but I like it just to the right side of my face. Now, The important part of the grip, once you have your hands, if you look at that, it looks like one big hand. You can't even see the thumb underneath. It doesn't look like this. This is what you see most golfers doing. They're using the wrist, they're holding it in the palms of the hand. I want to get these hands working together, so they're one block. Now the important part here is I want to feel the grip pressure. So number 10 would be the maximum that I can squeeze it. Number 1 is the lightest. I want to be number 5 in the middle, even number 4. So I want to be like 40% of my pressure. And this is going to be the key bit here. Listen carefully. I want to turn my left hand, I want to squeeze my left hand a little to the right and squeeze my right hand a little to the left. So they're like opposing forces. That's what Pete Cowan says. He's a great golf coach. He said your hands are like opposing forces. One squeezes against the other. And that will stabilize the rotation of the head and the shaft during a swing, which is correct, because if you try it and push one hand against the other and move, you will feel such control on this club head. Okay, so one big hand, we want to feel it more in the fingers, the club, that'll allow the wrist to work better, but to create these opposing forces, one hand pushes against the other, number 4 grip pressure, that will allow me to create speed and have control, and I'll have total control of the rotation of the shaft and head during a swing. Let's move to the posture. Right, so let's talk about posture. Posture is important. We have a dynamic and athletic position. Okay, we don't want to be positioned where we're just bending over from the back, okay? We want to be bending over from the hip joints. So that allows the back to stay a little bit straighter in our setup, okay? And that allows us to rotate around our spine angle. If we're like this and we're hunched over, we're not going to maintain the angles, we're going to move everywhere, and it's just going to create a lot of inconsistency and not a lot of power. So to create the correct angles, there are many videos out there explaining different things. The way I see it, I think it's easiest. I just imagine that I'm looking out of a window. So this is the edge of the window, this is the seal of the window, and I'm just looking out the window, something that's happening outside. I'm on the second floor of a house. I'm just looking out the window. I don't want to fall out the window. So I just push against the windowsill, I look out, and that's it. That's the correct angle. So I'm not sitting back like everyone thinks you've got to put your backside out. No, I want to be going forwards. I feel my weight going towards my toes. So I'm looking out this window, I can see what's happening. And what do? I just flex my knees a little, gives me stability, and it recenters my weight a little bit. So now I'm in a really good athletic, dynamic position. What do I mean by that? If I want to jump, I can jump from here. If I'm sitting or I'm hunched over, I'm not athletic. I'm definitely not dynamic. So I can't make a dynamic swing from here. So that's why it's important that we create the correct angles so we can maintain the spine angle, flex the knees. I'm looking out the window, flex those knees. Now I feel like I'm in a really good athletic position. The width of my feet, let's say the inside of the feet are pretty much the same as my shoulders. Okay, that's for a mid-iron. Okay, driver's wider and short irons, your feet are closer together. So my arms, what do I do with my arms? I've got a good grip now, okay, we've got one big hand. I'm just gonna get my arms to I'm gonna keep them tight between the two of them. So I just push my forearms together, creating just a little bit of tension. I don't wanna set up this way. A little bit of tension between the two of them. And I'm just gonna drop my arms onto my chest. It feels really connected, but really solid. So I'm looking out the window, I flex those knees, I let the arms drop onto the chest, I keep my arms close together, and I go down onto the ground like so. Now I just take a little bit of that tension away, but I feel like my arms are comfortably straight. So I'll show you from here. So I'm in a bit of tension, I just drop the tension, my arms are comfortably straight, but I'm not in this position here. Okay, this is a great athletic, powerful position to make a good golf swing. So these are the building blocks that we need to help create that powerful rotation. So from here, I can now rotate my body back and through and not lose my angles. So let me set up to the golf ball. Let's see if I can recreate looking out that window, flex the knees, feet just a little bit wider than my shoulders, arms close together, put them on the chest, I relax, find the correct distance. My ball position's just slightly left of center for a mid-iron. Right, let me relax, turn, turn. All right, that felt really good. I felt I could really maintain those angles. It was dynamic, it was athletic. So I could really create that power and that whip speed that I need at impact. Work on these two things if you want to be consistent. Be your best. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. please consider subscribing to the channel, clicking the subscribe button and the bell button next to it so you never miss a video like this one.